Cheers. Oh my. I just spilled coffee all over the place.
Nice going, me.
So I wanted to make a bit of a different video for you guys. Because I was thinking... Slow down. I was thinking the other day that my favorite part of most things that I'm into is the lore. I just love lore shit. There's like a bunch of stuff that I'm into that I'm not even into the actual franchise, but I like the lore. And then I was laying in bed and I'm like, I don't give a shit about magic lore. Which is weird. Not that it's like I've heard about it and I'm like, boring, don't care. Just never ever made the effort to look into it, which is strange. Now add that on top of me researching Dante's Inferno the other day. Just because I've heard a lot of people talk about it. I've never actually read it, so the more I looked into it, the more I thought Dante kind of reminded me of Daxos. I'm gonna say Daxos. He's not really the same dude, but Daxos' story is super fucking cool, so I kind of wanted to like read it, have a little story time, see if that was something you guys would be interested in me doing more of. So yeah, this is the story of Daxos and Rebirth. If you want to read along or kind of like read between the lines a little bit, the MTG Wiki article I'm going to be like reading from for a lot of this is going to be in the description. But with that, let's get into it. In childhood, Daxos was initially thought to be deaf and mute. He often stared into the sky or sat in a dark corner alone. I feel you, my guy. I'm literally just... Oh, God. Like 24/7, dude. So I feel you. However, his happiest moments were outside in the sun, where he would appear to like put his hands through the air and almost like trace sigils out of air. It was weird stuff. His mom, to no fault of her own, thought something was wrong with him. He was just a really creative little guy. It's kind of hard not to bring up that there's some parallels in Daxos' story to like childhood autism, where it's like you kind of think something's wrong, you try to get something fixed just because they have these quirks. And then as you'll see later on in life, they become badasses. So she searched all over the place for someone to cure her kid, but no one could. She had eventually developed this belief that like Daxos' soul has been like severed from his body and that they needed to go to Aetherios to help get it back. Religion. So she took her kid to this cave where people worship Aetherios at this shrine of Erebos, because Erebos is kind of like the messenger to Aetherios. He's like, hey, big bro, I got a deaf, mute kid that likes staring at stars for you. Daxos, being lured into a dark cave by his mom as a child, wasn't super into the whole thing. So the mom, Lydia, gave Daxos her amulet that was made out of glass. And that's when Daxos utters his first word to his mom and says, Asphodel, which is terrifying. Apparently it's just a flower in this universe. I think it said flower. Yeah, a flower from which the amulet was forged. I guess we're forging flowers into glass amulets now. I have no idea. Thank God the mom wasn't a commander player, because her son saying Asphodel like probably would have sent her into like war flashbacks. She like, your son's trying to warn you that the mono black player at the table's about to beat your ass. And as you can imagine, Lydia's like, my mute kid just talked. My kid just talked, I guess, because now he talked. So she looks at her little boy. She says, look at me. And then she sees a bunch of the little Nyx stars in his eyes. You know, the little like stars that like say something's an enchantment on the border. She sees a bunch of those in his eyes. And she's like, oh, shit. Oh, no. You ever have that moment where your kid's not autistic and he's an oracle? It happens to the best of us. It's 2024. That's still happening, Lydia. Don't feel too bad. And lucky for the both of them, they're inside Erebos' cave, and Erebos is a sneaky little shit, and he's like, oh, I just heard that. We really don't need Oracle for Heliod roaming around that cares this much about, only serving Heliod. So... yeah, I'm going to have to go tell Aetherios about this. I'm sorry. So Lydia and Daxos book it. They're gone. They're going, we're out of this cave. We're leaving. Aetherios, like, straight hunts them down, which is a terrifying thought. They're about to get away, and, like, every movie ever, you wouldn't be watching or hearing about the thing if it was just, like, they got away and everyone stopped. Aetherios gets that hook in him. He gets that little hook he has with him. Right into Daxos. He says, that's mine now. Lydia goes, what about me? You know what I mean? My kid, he's not going to talk to you. He's going to stare at the roof of the place all the time with his creepy little star eyes. Why don't you take me? She's kind of unbuttoning her top thing. Just take me, you know what I mean? I'll go back to the thing with you. He agrees. I really don't know why. She's not an oracle. She's not a problem. Maybe they're like, she'll birth more oracles. We must stop it at the source. Like, you gotta respect Aetherios and Erebos being like, hey, we're gods of our word. We just need a soul, I guess. Aetherios is like, I have 2 coins, and someone's eyes are getting covered with them. I don't know whose. I don't know if it's gonna be your kid's eyes. I'd rather it be his eyes, because I don't like the way he's looking at me. But at this very moment, because gods, I guess, are omnipotent, they know what other gods are doing, Karametra sent her emissary to go get Daxos. She's like, hey, this kid's gonna get his mom taken from him. And when you show up, he's gonna be staring. He's gonna look like he's freaked out. He's not gonna talk to you. He always does that. It's not you, emissary. It's not you. She goes and snags up Daxos and takes him away, and takes him to the Nessian forest, which is way safer than the place, he's at. Going to the Nessian forest, Daxos eventually ventures on and finds Theros. Round of applause for that set, dude. Good set. Just a great set. Just a really cool thing. And he goes there. He starts training. He becomes a little bit more buff. He hits his gym arc. You know what I mean? He said, I lost my mom. I couldn't save my own mom, dude. I couldn't save my own mom, dude. Like, he was hitting his villain arc. His weightlifting villain arc. Like, he's listening to fucking, I don't know, throw something funny on there. But, after every villain arc, you've got to hit your rebirth arc. You know what I mean? And I think there's no better planeswalker to have came into Daxos' life to give him this start to this life, than Elspeth. Elspeth met Daxos when she first journeys to Theros. At the time, she had witnessed a battle between Heliod and Perforos, and had taken the Sword of Chaos when it was knocked to the mortal world from Perforos' hands. Nerd shit. When Elspeth returned to Theros 10 years later, she encountered Pelukranos, a massive hydra that had slain countless warriors, and nobody could fuck this thing up. Every single person was like, dude, I got this. I know how hydras work. And their friend was like, bro, you cut off one head. The other guy's like, the other grow, 2 more grow. I know what the fucking hydras are. I also live in Theros. Elspeth comes and's like, some 2 guys behind her. You can't. She can't. You can't. I think I could fuck that thing up. And then Daxos, is nearby, and he's like, is that fucking Elspeth? Is that Tony fucking Hawk? And he's like, hey, everyone here is like a big old, they've already went through their weightlifting arc. He's like, I got medium guns, so I don't have enough pride to be like, I'm doing it alone. How about we do it together? And Elspeth's like, do it together. That's your big plan? You don't think anybody else has ever done it together? You think none of these people have ever? And then she looks over, and every single person's like, that's really smart. So she's like, yeah, let's just do it together. And Daxos is like, also, check this out. I have an idea. What if we cut all of their heads off at once? So it's not alive to grow back any more heads. The ruler of Theros, whoever that is just sitting on his throne like, I am fired as fuck. So they go and they initiate their brand new strategy. Murk it. Absolutely destroy it. It's gone. Pelukranos is gone. Bye-bye. So after this, all the people of Theros, they say, oh my god, you guys are the best. You guys are the best. Elspeth, you get a secured spot at the Temple of Heliod. You get to stay and work and be divine underneath him, the closest that a mortal can be. And then everyone kind of starts to walk away. And Daxos is like, yeah, that was cool how we both killed that Hydra, huh? How we both killed it. Actually, he doesn't say any of that because he's mute. But he sits there with that kind of energy. And someone turns around and looks at him. They see that he's kind of upset. They give his hair a little ruffle. They go, oh, here's a coupon for 50% off Baskin Robbins. You did such a good job killing that Hydra. Oh, you're such a good little guy. And then walks away. We got to catch back up with this bitch Elspeth who took I'm just kidding, who took everything from him to understand what's going on with Daxos. Months passed as Elspeth learned what the priest of Heliod had to teach, but mostly she found she enjoyed the time spent with Daxos. Our boys at the temple! Why is that not in here? Wiki, you fucked up. You had me all riled up. You had me in the red. I'm keeping that in there, by the way, because it had me in the red. I didn't think my boy got anything. Elspeth and Daxos were met with the citizen hero Athusa. Athusa? I barely even know her. Who told them of the Nyxborn attacking humanity. Then the ageless sphinx Madami had nothing but dire predictions for the pair, and a vision of Akros under siege. At Akros, they found that the Minotaurs had constructed a giant wall to keep reinforcements out. Queen Simead informed them that the Acroans had captured the satyr Xenagos, and that he had demanded to speak with Elspeth. So, yeah, Daxos and Elspeth are chilling. They're, like, monking it up, just, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt make 2-1 life-linking soldier tokens, thou shalt have indestructible, And then they get a little ringy-ding-ding, and they're like, yeah. There's a bunch of there's a bunch of weird enchantment creatures running around, and they're fucking people up. And Elspeth's like, not great, okay. Anything else? Yeah, the Minotaur set up a big old wall. Makes it really difficult to get in and out of a crone. Xenagos wants to meet with you. Yeah. She's like, that random satyr dude wants to meet with me? I'm bringing my boy Daxos. We'll go check it out. When she goes to meet, Xenagos tells Elspeth that they knew how they could destroy the army without ever battling. At his instructions, they raised the river that ran through Akros and swept the armies away. So Xenagos came in clutch. He's like, listen, I'm not here to do any shenanigans. Just raise the tides on that river. They're really close to it. It'll sweep them all away. And she's like, oh my God, leave the faucet on. Leave the faucet. You know, my parents always told me, never leave the oven, never leave the faucet. So it just slipped my mind. Thank you, Xenagos. So after they did this, King Anax, we finally get a name for this dude that rules Theros, finally. He's like, we're going to throw a party for you guys. And you guys are going to love it. It's going to be lit. It's going to be sick. So they throw this huge party at Theros. Everyone's loving it. Everyone's digging it. Daxos and Elspeth, they have a little bit too much of the old Heliod's blood, if you know what I'm saying. They find themselves in a tent together, and, they start getting a little frisky, but Elspeth goes, nah. More like Daxos the blue ball, am I right? Nah. They both agree. They're like, we're too good together. You know what I mean? We fight too much bullshit. We beat too much ass. So, while they're asleep that night, Xenagos comes into their tent, and being a literal shit, makes her have a nightmare about her worst fear, which was being inside of the Phyrexian Obliterator, which I didn't realize that was a real thing. She was just trapped inside that thing. That sucks. And in her dream, she fucks that thing up. She fucks that Phyrexian Obliterator up. It is dead as hell. Oh, that was accidentally Daxos. Oh. Yeah, she kills Daxos accidentally. Which is just so fun. So, Daxos roams the underworld. He goes, I'm looking for my girl. You know what I mean? He's wearing this gold mask that shows the last thing that he felt, which is just anguish. You know what I mean? He's rolling around just... He looks like the troll face. He's not looking good. And he's praying to Erebos, essentially, like, hey, anything to get back to the earth so I can actually find her. Anything to go back, to be alive. Anything to be returned. And Erebos goes, sure. So Daxos gets returned to the overworld, and Elspeth gets sent to the underworld. Yeah, big old fuck you again. A big old fuck you again, Daxos. What did this guy do? To not all is bad. He comes back. Theros is like, you came back from hell? Because I did see you die. So yeah, he just gets demigodhood right on the spot. They go, that's crazy. That's super cool. You're a demigod of Heliod now. Sorry, that's just what you are. That's super cool. This dude's a badass. He doesn't crumble. All right, he's not like, my girl's gone. I died and came back. I went through the worst torture I could ever go through. I'm done. He brings the gold mask with him to the overworld, and then he wears it as a shield on his arm. How fucking cool is that? That's genuinely sweet. Look at this guy. Look at how cool this guy is. After being elevated to demigodhood, Daxos wears his mask on his arm as a shield. He was reformed by Heliod with the task to destroy every sign of other divinities of Meletis. Despite his former affiliations, he has no choice but to obey his god. Ooh. Heliod's got some Westboro Baptist energy. You know? Even after Heliod's imprisonment in Theros' underworld, Daxos spends his days in unfeeling service to the god. His nights are spent dreaming of Theros' underworld, where he wanders in search of Elspeth. Once a month, his dreams take him to a twisted memory of Elspeth's defeat of Pelukernos that ends with her killing him. Yeah, we all know someone that gets really emotional once a month because of a nightmare of someone killing a Hydra and then accidentally stabbing you from another nightmare that a Xenagos made them happy. Yeah, And even after all this, our boy's been beaten down. He's like has unfeeling servitude to a god now. He keeps his symbol on him. That's like, you went through some shit, and you're gonna go through some shit, and you're gonna get through that shit. And when the Phyrexians invade in New Phyrexia, guess who is like the boy standing up for Theros? Daxos. He's the boy. Now, there seems to be a general consensus of Daxos' story is a story of loss. It's a story of complete defeat. Like, it's a Greek tragedy, ironically enough. But to me, I think that they're setting it up to be more of a Greek comedy. It's going to be more of a things are okay in the end. I don't think they set him up to have all these beliefs and all these beliefs crumble and have such a hard upbringing and have all these struggles that he then overcomes just for him to be a slave to Heliod. That's not what's going to happen. I think whatever the next set is that allows Daxos to be a part of it, we're going to have him break these chains of Heliod and become a warrior for the people, per se. If you guys like this video and want more videos like this, please let me know down in the description. Helps out a lot. Helps me figure out what kind of stuff you guys like. Yeah, subscribe, like, do all that stuff. We're trying to hit 10K by the end of the year. Easy. And yeah, with that, have a good one. Go play some Magic, guys.